I suppose if you were to look at a ladder, that would probably be the second rung up. The first rung up was a number called Rock with the Caveman. That was the first record I made, which was in sort of the autumn of 1956. Singing the Blues came along in 57. Singing the Blues was my first number one. Well, it's my only number one, actually. But Rock with the Caveman was the first, and there was another one called Doomsday Rock.
And there are quite a few names around at that time, particularly one name that springs to mind, Lionel Bart.
Yeah.
He wrote an awful lot of songs for not just you, but several other people as well.
Right. Well, Lionel and myself and a fellow called Mike Pratt, we'd started this friendship when I was still at sea, where we were doing a comedy act when I was on leave. We called ourselves the Cavemen, of all things, and Rock with the Caveman was our sort of signature tune. There was Mike Pratt was on piano, I was on guitar, and Lionel was on washboard. And we used to do this comedy knockabout routine like the Three Stooges. People probably haven't heard of the Three Stooges today, but at the same time we were writing. And after probably 2 or 3 years of writing pop music, Lionel suddenly wrote a little thing called Oliver, and then went on to write a lot of musical comedies after that.
Where did the change come for you? Because you'd had several records in the charts, and then you went on to do some musicals, didn't you? How did you get into that?
It's a strange situation, really. I came into show business through the door of rock and roll, doing rock music and making rock records for probably the formative first 2 years. And then after things like Little White Bull and Handful of Songs and nice little ballad, things like that, what it was really telling me and my teenage public at the time was that rock really wasn't what I wanted to do, which it wasn't. It wasn't probably the starting point was doing a pantomime at Liverpool in 1957. I'd never done a pantomime. I'd seen them but never done one, and I suddenly found the combination of the book and the music and the dancing was something that I really enjoyed learning. And I thought to myself, well, I'm a little bit late in life to start now. I was 19 at the time. So I started saying to myself, well, maybe this is really what I want to do. I want to stay in show business. I don't want to be a pop singer, because that is not what I wanted to be anyway. It just happened like that. And I suddenly found doing another pantomime the following year with Rodgers and Hammerstein at the Coliseum in London, then Half a Sixpence. Then all of a sudden I found myself as a sort of an entertainer, song and dance man, which is exactly, I suppose, subconsciously at the time, is what I wanted to be in the first place. Half a Sixpence is a wonderful film.
Because it was Marty Webb, I think, in the West End with you at one stage, wasn't it?
Well, Marty Webb did the West End, Polly James did the Broadway version with me, and Julia Foster did the film. That's difficult again. I think I always prefer to do the live piece. Filming is boring, and you're in no control of it at all. It's just you and that camera, and you do exactly what the director tells you, and the director does exactly what the editor tells him, and by the time you see the film, it's whatever they think is the right thing to do, and so it should be, because they know what they're talking about. But in a live performance, you're in total control, and I think I really like that. Tommy the Toreador was a lovely little romp. Even Finian's Rainbow and Happiest Millionaire, I suppose, they've all got wonderful moments for me. Very few of them I consider to be totally wonderful. There's flaws in everything, and the trouble is that when I sit and look at them, the bits come up that I don't like, and so it turns me off the thing in the end. I mean, Tommy the Toreador, for instance, I mean, for one song alone, Little White Bull, it's worth waiting for that one moment to come up.
There's hardly anything you haven't done. You've conducted orchestras, you do quite a lot of sculpture work as well, and there's some of your work all over this country. How do you manage to find the time to do all that sort of thing? You've got a family as well.
It's there, the time is there. I mean, I sculpt at home, I paint in my dressing room when I'm in a show. Once the show's settled and I'm quite happy with it, I start to bring the easel in. And I start to relax a bit, like, what if you call it relaxation, can drive you mad, really. But there's always time to do it. I mean, it's all communication. It's all what this business is all about. It's you saying to somebody else, what do you think of this?
You seem to be a man who likes challenges. Are there any challenges and ambitions left for you now?
Oh, yeah. I'd just like to be better, actually. It's a constant quest. You just have to keep learning all the time as you go along.